Hi there, it's Ron Gula from Gula Tech Adventures. Today we're going to talk about translating DC Cyberspeak. Now, I'm former NSA. I ran Tenable Network Security for about 16 years, dealt with a wide variety of the U.S. Government intelligence agencies. And now I run Gula Tech Adventures, where many of our portfolio companies and nonprofits also interact with various facets of the United States government. And we run into a lot of people who don't understand cybersecurity. So we push this concept called data care, which makes all of IT, all of cybersecurity, just something a lot more friendly and a lot more appealing for people to join into. Now, having said that, why do a video on translating DC Cyberspeak? Well, cyber's hard enough on its own to understand with our own lingo, with our own stuff. And because we have a lot of different reasons, we have a lot of different words for what we do in cyberspace. So we're going to kind of try to dispel some of that, but mostly because I want to let people know your government is trying. There's a lot of people I talk to on a daily basis who are in various aspects of the U.S. government who are keeping us safe in cyberspace. And, some of these things are hard to understand because it's a complex topic, but we're going to try to tackle it. So the first one, I'm recording this in September of 22. It's football season. Everybody knows who's on offense in this screenshot here and who's on defense. And if you've seen the new Top Gun movie, that didn't go so well, right? They play dogfight football where you're simultaneously on offense and defense. Of course, what am I talking about? I am talking about the concept of defending forward. If you hear somebody say we are practicing defending forward, what they are really doing is they are hacking the hackers. And I'm hoping that like 40 or 50 years from now, when things become declassified, we will have great movies, great books, great shows that honor all the hard work that people are doing, keeping us safe. Did we stop 1,000 solar winds? Did one get through? Are we actively, helping, things unfold in the world? We don't know. That's the job of the intelligence community and people at Cyber Command and people in our FBI. And it takes a lot of different people to do that, but that's really what they're talking about when they say those words. Now, it gets a little bit more complex. When I grew up, I learned about government from Schoolhouse Rock, the I'm Just a Bill. And everybody knows that in the U.S. we have legislative, executive, and judicial. And because we have something called the Fourth Amendment, which doesn't actually say privacy, but because we have privacy, we actually have people using phrases like this. We're going to operational cybersecurity collaboration with the private sector. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean? Well, we all know that public roads have police on them. The police have the responsibility to go out and make sure we're not speeding, that can be available to respond to safety issues, crime, and whatnot. But in data centers, there's no police server. There's no FBI server for the most part, right? There's no sort of apparatus from the government that's built into the infrastructure of AWS. It's built into Google. It's built into, why? Because it's the private industry. It's the private industry. So instead, what we have across the U.S. government are basically, I kind of jokingly call it the Justice League. Every different division of the U.S. government has a different superpower. The Department of Justice has the ability to try people, to apprehend people, put them in jail. The Department of State has the ability to communicate with other countries about cybersecurity from a policy and a state level. CIA and NSA have different ways they go about collecting their intelligence in cyberspace. Cyber Command has the ability to conduct Department of Defense operations in cyberspace. And if you think about that, you then think about DHS as sort of being a central point. They have something called the JCDC, where they can collaborate both across industry and inside the government. There's a lot of coordination that goes there. I also jokingly like to say that everybody thinks they're Superman because their superpower is kind of what their organization does. But I'll also tell you that everybody, just because of the way things work, has a kryptonite. They do have their own limitations of what they do. But this is the price of freedom in a transparent society. So just to back it up again, when you hear somebody say operational cybersecurity collaboration with the private sector, it really means we are not a draconian, government. We are a free society, and we have many, many different government agencies that work closely with the private sector. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is critical infrastructure. what is critical infrastructure? Well, if you saw The Incredibles, there's a scene where a Syndrome basically says, if everybody is super, then nobody is super. And I joke sometimes that, everything is critical infrastructure. Everything is a potential Hollywood story where, the day we lost GPS, oh my God, everything stopped. The day we lost water, right? The day we lost Google. But the way DHS looks at this, there's 16 different sectors, and there's a clear government organization who's kind of in charge of overwatching that sector, finding out risk, and basically, chiefly, incorporating or interfacing with the civilian infrastructure, right? Last time I checked, AT&T is not a government agency. FedEx is not a government agency. However, if we lost those things, and those companies have great resources, they do not have the resources to defend themselves from nation states and whatnot. And there's different kind of threats that, as we go across from counterterror all the way up to nation states and whatnot. But these 16 sectors are what we've kind of focus on. Sometimes we overfocus. So, for example, the last election, where there was a lot of debate, was this election somehow tampered with? Was the election very, very secure? All of a sudden, elections kind of became a critical infrastructure, even though that's part of our government facilities and whatnot. The one industry that I tend to think trumps things a little bit more is power. Without power, we can't pump water. In some cases, this is a circular argument if you're getting your power from hydro dams. And that just shows you how kind of interwoven we are. So that was a little bit fun. I had a lot of fun talking about some of these things. I've got a lot of friends and relatives. What do they mean when they say this on TV and whatnot? So if you enjoyed this video, please follow us on Twitter, Gula.tech, YouTube channel, and we got a lot of great blogs and videos at the Gula Tech website. I'm Ron Gula. Thanks for watching DC Cyberspeak.